Right, hello. We've got the teams, and by the time you watch this, you probably know that Isco, of course, is playing. Reasons for it, and that was the exclusive of which was told by COPE, the Spanish radio work for earlier today. The plan, it seems to me, is clear. Zinedine Zidane did not trust the BBC to defend well. This is a two-leg game. Perhaps they will play in the second one. This one is about controlling, and that's why he adds a midfielder. Defending with the ball, by keeping the ball and making sure that the tempo is in the hands of Real Madrid and it doesn't go box to box, which will happen if the BBC was playing. And yes, he probably doesn't trust the defensive work that the BBC can do for 90 minutes. It's a great opportunity to bring Bale on later on, but what a game! And like yesterday in the Juba Spurs, another fantastic performance from Spurs. It's one of those games that is so difficult to predict. In fact, when I first did Talk Sport earlier on, I wasn't sure what to say because I've been thinking about it, and I've been asking some of the people here, what do you think? That's how you end up creating a shape of the game. You imagine what's going to happen, and then from then on you take your analysis. But have a look at yesterday. Of course, after 2-0 up, you think Juventus is going to win this game, but it doesn't happen like that. Today, the appearance of Isco suggests that yes, Zidane is going to go for more control. You can take the analysis from there. Why more control? Well, quite clearly, Real Madrid have been conceding in every game, so it'll be good if they can defend better in numbers, of course, and Casemiro will be important. Casemiro has been poor this season, Modric and Kroos as well, but Isco adds a lot of work in the midfield. As I'm saying, without the BBC, there'll be less box to box and more space control from Real Madrid. But remember as well that this PSG have got a lot of talent. They're not a collective in the way that Real Madrid can be, especially in Champions League nights, where everybody works for everybody, where everybody gets rid a little bit of their ego, and including Ronaldo, and they just work for each other. You'll see this happening. Why doesn't it happen every week? Because the more you win, the more difficult it is to keep winning. And Real Madrid have won a lot in the last 3 years. In fact, for Zidane, it's 8 titles out of the last 10, which means that it's more difficult to find the inner motivation for every game. For games like this, not a problem. So they have the collective, they know how to do it. Real Madrid have been in 7 semi-finals in the last 7 years. They're competitive. They know what is required in these kind of games, even though we said similar against Spurs and they end up losing. But that was down to being a group stage and not being absolutely essential that the victory was needed. Here it is. Here it is about a good performance that will bring the result. PSG, on the other hand, we've seen last season that they can give us fantastic games, but also big defeats. And in the summer, Unai Emery's analysis coincided with the analysis of the club. We need winners. We need players that can win games, big games, and players that can actually raise the level of the side. So that's why all the money has been invested in Mbappé and Neymar, of course. With that in hand, no more excuses for Unai Emery or for the team. They should do it. But in all these months since the arrival of Neymar, we're not seeing a PSG that is a collective. What we're seeing is a PSG where individuals shine, a PSG that doesn't compete at the highest level every week for different reasons than Real Madrid. In the case of Real Madrid, they're saturated of victories. In the case of PSG, they still haven't created that winning culture, number one. But number two, the French league doesn't push them as it should. What that means is that they're waiting for the moments. They have brilliant moments that have allowed them to beat Bayern, but to lose against Bayern as well when they don't defend well. Neymar, all the eyes will be on Neymar, and I think that's bad news for PSG because he will want to do his thing. It will be the kind of game where he wants to release the ball quickly, and I do have the impression that since he left Barcelona, one problem has arisen in his form. Number one, his life outside football should be more focused, I think. And he's been told that by Mascherano and by others. He should be focused more in his football, but I think he can do everything, and at the moment he probably can. But number two, at Barcelona he had a limit of what he had to do, a space in which he had to influence the game. PSG has arrived as a star, and he wants to be treated as a star. That means doesn't always train. He goes to Brazil sometimes. A lot of things that make him happy, but that means that doesn't limit his talent. And sometimes by limiting talent, and what I mean by that is if you give instructions, exact instructions of what he can do or where he can do it, and the rest of the team play around that, then I think you get a better Neymar. He's not in the stage of winning games like Messi can do without any limits whatsoever. I think you get a better Neymar if you tell him what his role is. When he was on the left-hand side in Barcelona, he knew what his role was, and that's where you got the best Neymar. Here he tries to do too much. And of course, one thing that has been created with his arrival is little groups. The Cavani group, the Neymar group, and other groups that they are professional, but they perhaps don't get on in a way that you should expect from a collective. Unai Emery has been trying to do his best. He's had conversations, private conversations, 2 long ones with Neymar, in which he's been telling him, I'm here for you, I want to help you, but you have to give me enough too. And that exchange, Unai saw a young man, ambitious, who wants to do the best for PSG. Coming to Real Madrid, we'll discuss that in other places, but I don't see it happening. It's a very difficult situation, this one, because PSG don't want to get rid of Neymar. Neymar will flirt with Real Madrid forever, until maybe one day happens. I don't see it happening next season, but he wants to make an impact, to be considered the best in the world. Tonight, out of all nights, will be one to show exactly that. I am so looking forward to this one, and I bet that you are too. If you want, after the game, we'll just have a little chat about what's happened. I cannot wait. This, by the way, is to listen to the radio. I love listening to the radio as I watch the games, because that's how I was brought up in Spain. We watch a game and listen to the radio, so I'll do exactly the same tonight. I cannot wait. This is where we are. Let me show you. Santiago Bernabeu for Real Madrid, PSG.